Alright, David is much worse than you think. By It's Blanco. Alright, so yeah, we all know about the David situation by now. I did a couple videos of it already on my live channel. This is my plus channel. Actually, I don't even know what channel I'm gonna put this on. So like either way, man, just know I did before in the past. I covered this topic, but since the last video though, there's been a preliminary hearing based on David evidence that could convict him, and of course the trial they got enough evidence prosecution to where it could go to trial. We don't know when that is, so like there could be months from now, days, who knows, but like I read me I didn't did it as it was happening, but like I've saw plenty of creators, and because there was a lot of creators that were, like that was actually in the courtroom, that was there to see the evidence, and I saw many videos about the situation, but I want to see how this video describes it, because I want to put on my own perspective for this on this as well, because this video is crazy, man. It's crazy as an understatement. It's like so fucked up, so terrible what happened to her. People gonna say this. People didn't want this trial to be televised, but I don't think so, because like it involves a child, and I really don't want to see it. I personally, even though I'm used to like seeing like graphic stuff because of my study, my field of study, criminology, but even then, man, it's like from what I've heard and seen, this like some of the most graphic stuff you'll ever see, and I've seen a lot of bad stuff. So like that says a lot. I haven't seen like you know, luckily we haven't seen dead bodies yet, but like I've seen like courtroom sketches and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into it, man, because it's a lot to digest.
By now, everyone and their grandma has heard about the David case in which he, allegedly, has murdered Celeste Rivas, a girl that he was in a relationship with since she was 11.
Like, here's the thing, like, I mean, this is alleged, so like, you all gotta say that you all gotta say allegedly, for legal reasons, because you don't want to get sued. I mean, you can still have your opinion, but like, there's a reason why people say that, because until like there's a conviction, you can't say like, you know, this person did it for sure. But anyways, um, this like I said, this is a messed up situation, man, and I forgot what I was about to say, but I mean, I'm probably gonna figure out once I play the video.
To give you a reference, that means in 2015, she was in kindergarten. And while immediately it was clear from the videos, pictures, and tattoos that David was clearly connected to this, the more details we find
Oh,
out.
and I remember what I was say. I was gonna say like that no matter which way you spin this, like even if David did kill Celeste allegedly, it's so shown that like just through pictures alone that David has some sort of like sexual relationship with this I'm just gonna say for how it is kid, but David defenders are gonna like somehow spin this, like no matter which way you put it, man, like at the very least, like he's a person that likes the young, and the very most he's that and a murderer, so either way it's terrible.
The more disturbing it is. In reality, this is just the beginning. Evidence has shown the ways that David specifically killed her that makes cartel videos look tame. On top of this, there were tons of CP that was found on David's phone, text messages revealing that at one point she was pregnant, and even more evidence that showed that this man kept her body around for months. And the thing is, he wasn't alone, because as more and more comes out, it seems that both David's parents and Celeste's parents knew about it, and
Man.
almost apparently seemed to.
Man, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt too. I'm like, and when I heard that, I'm like, No, man. You actually knew about this?
Prove it. And that's
That's
not
what
it.
makes it
There's
so
even
fucked
more
up.
people involved. It feels like apparently seem to approve it. And that's not it. There's even more people involved. It feels like as more things get exposed, the more questions we have. Today we're going over all the evidence of how David murdered Celeste, the full timeline of
Oh,
their
by the way, too, like, they will say he was trying to say like she looks like she would have been like 18. There's no way you could look at her and say she was 18, man. Like, I know people got baby faces like myself. I'm like, I'm 24. I mean, depending on who you ask, I look my age or I could look like 19, 20. But even then, it's like you could just tell when someone's a kid, man. Like, I don't look that young. Like, if I show you a picture when I was actually 13, 14, you could tell I look how old how young I was just based on how my face how my face was.
relationship and how David almost got away with it if it wasn't for one single slip up. Now, because at the time of this video, this is an ongoing case, I will be using the words allegedly, because all of this is still legally alleged, but we all know the truth. So let's cut the bullshit and get right into it. So let's do a quick recap of everything that we knew before all the evidence was presented. As you guys know, David is a very famous singer who got popular back in 2023 for his songs Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. And people loved him not just because of his music, but because of his story. He literally recorded these top hits on an iPhone in his sister's closet, and these initially were being made as soundtracks for his Fortnite compilations to avoid guideline strikes. Well, billions of streams, multiple worldwide tours, and collabs with big content creators later, his career came full circle when he got his own skin and song for the game Fortnite itself. But he barely even got to celebrate because that was when the dead body of Celeste was discovered in the back of a Tesla that was in his name. As you guys may remember, on September 8th of 2025, her dead body was found in the back of a Tesla because of the gruesome smell when the Tesla was pulled into an impound lot. And at first, no one thought David had anything to do with it because he was on tour for quite a long time at this point, and the body was pretty new. That's what we all thought. Now, it's crazy to think that at one point, the majority of the internet was genuinely on David's side for this entire thing. But when the girl was identified,
Yeah, not gonna lie. I mean, I heard about him. I'm like, okay, like it could be a coincidence. It's because of the tour and like, I mean, but I just heard of David like a few months prior. Like I never like I probably heard of him in passing, but like I just started to like really notice him like months just before this whole happened. So like, and this was like I think like September, October. So like I said, it's been almost a year now. Crazy enough.
as Celeste Rivas, a girl who was reported missing in April of 2024, the internet did some digging, and soon enough they found pictures, a lot of pictures, of the two of them hanging out. Pictures where they were clearly being more than just friends. Videos of them hanging out, being more than just friends. Videos of her going backstage to his concerts. Then it was revealed that the two of them had matching tattoos that said the word shush on them. There was a video of his teacher claiming that she was actually in his class and that he was hanging out with her.
What? Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster.
Alright, first off, like I've seen this video so many times, but like especially when it first happened, because in case you don't know, like there was like 6 or maybe 7 months where like David was like free because like the case was like the LAPD was like investigating the situation, just so like they wouldn't like have any loopholes within within like the case, so they know for sure that David won't get out. And that's the thing too, like the internet, especially like normal people that don't understand crime or like how the legal system works, like they just want like people to like, get arrested immediately if like that's based off of like the perception of like their character or like optics. Like for a case for a case like this, there has to be very strong evidence for them to actually arrest them in the first place. I mean, sometimes it could be like it could be immediately, like a day or a few hours, but sometimes, man, it could take months or even years. and this is just one of those cases because like besides the fact that Celeste was like missing for months, like besides that we don't really there's no like camera evidence, you know, from like a ring camera that shows David killing Celeste allegedly. But like we learned later that like there's Tesla footage and like Amazon deliveries. Like I said, I'm not trying to spoil it too much for those that don't know, but like there's knows like a lot of evidence that like they just gathered over the past over those months that the public didn't even know about. Like the public just knew the internet just thought that's gathered up pieces based on like pictures that were already available online.
Right here.
There was an entire live stream they did together where she made a joke about him R-wording children.
Is your media
I
trained?
personally don't.
Yo, I media trained you.
But yeah, when it comes to that though, like I hate that he said that because like even if he has good intentions with that, like the fact it still doesn't change the fact that he didn't do anything until like or said anything until like she actually died. Like that makes him look terrible.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
There was literally a song that was named Celeste that was written about her. There were tons of messages from his Discord leaked interacting with the girl named Celeste. This clearly was not a coincidence at all. This was the real deal. In what felt like overnight, David went from totally not guilty to definitely being guilty without a reasonable doubt. The internet discovered that not only was he clearly in a relationship with this girl, but had to be involved with her murder, because the Tesla that she was found dead in was literally found just around the corner from his house. Well, not his house, the house that he was staying in at the time. The house literally had an incinerator right in the backyard that clearly looked big enough to burn a body, or a young girl, if you will. This alone clearly showed that David had to be involved in some way. So if this was the case, why did it take over half a year to actually arrest him? The body was found on September 8th, and all this came out basically within a week. But he actually wasn't arrested until April of 2026.
Yeah, April.
Well, when it comes to murder cases, it can take hours or it can take years to fully make an arrest on someone. Since
Yes.
there were no eyewitnesses or direct footage of David directly killing her, well, they had to go
Yeah, that too. I forgot to mention eyewitnesses and like
through a lot of digital and forensic footage to really get enough evidence. Apparently, some of the witnesses that they interrogated were not cooperative, which can only make things more difficult. But first, I gotta pay rent, so this... Even initially, it's insane to think that David was not actually a suspect from law enforcement for quite a long time. And even though it wasn't punished in the legal sense, he definitely was punished in the social sense. His monthly listeners dropped by half, his tour was canceled, he lost over 500,000 followers, and his album Deluxe was completely scrapped. His career was basically gone in one night, and he stayed completely in the shadows. Where he was, no one knows. But now that David was officially charged, all the consequences were coming in both legally and not legally. Big artists like Kali Uchis and Leve completely dropped their collabs from streaming services.
Yeah,
His
good.
record label Interscope quietly dropped him from the label. YouTube completely demonetized his channel, said he could not make any more money, even though he was losing quite a lot of views and subscribers from the obvious reasons. Fortnite didn't remove his skin, but they were willing to give refunds to anyone who wanted one. David's own
wow, they didn't move. I mean, I don't think it's. I feel like they probably won't move his skin until like this actually would be a conviction though.
brother even posted on his Instagram story that all murderers and rapists deserve to die. The charges were the tipping point that everyone professionally and socially close to him really needed to justify getting away from him. David's legal team, though, stood on the fact that he was not a murderer, and they did claim that he was not guilty. And respect for the confidence, really, I truly do wish I could be just that delusional. Now, David's case was going to a preliminary hearing where the evidence would be presented against him for his case before it goes to trial, which is basically where we learned a lot of the disturbing nature and everything involved with this case. It started off with them showing the very disturbing pictures of Celeste's dismembered body. Now, at this time, her body was placed inside of a giant bag that was found in the back of a Tesla, and it was chopped up into multiple pieces. From what they described, it was just the torso with the head nearly chopped off. So far, the pictures have not been made public yet, and honestly, I really hope they're not. Celeste's family...
Yeah, honestly, like I said, like I don't want to see That's because doesn't matter where or not you're sensitive to that type of stuff. Like I don't want to see like pictures of like a dead child like that, especially because like her body got dismembered, which they would I hope he would get to, but like yeah, I'm just gonna wait for y'all to for him to discuss it because like the way that he tried to get rid of the body, disgusting. But like and also the state of like her body was in when she was found. Oh my god, man. Man, poor girl, man. Every adult in her life failed her, man. Every every adult. That's terrible. Like if she would, bro, this pissed me off too because like not even just because she's like a girl or something, but like if she was still alive, she probably would have been like she would have been like 16, and like I have family that's like she would have been high school right now, and like I have, like I said, I have family that's like that's close to her age. Like I have a family member that's like 18 that just turned 18. She's going to college soon, and I'm not gonna go into it. That's like personal stuff, but like when I think of like stuff like that, it's like she won't never experience college, man. She won't experience graduating high school. She won't get married, have kids of her own. Like just because this monster was so selfish and so much of a weirdo that like she can't she for one didn't think he would have like a relationship with someone his age, and two she threatened his career as she should because that's weird. But it's so frustrating, man.
Family was in attendance for this, and apparently it was so overwhelming that the mom nearly fainted. This is the very first time they were seeing any of this graphic material. Meanwhile, David, during this entire case, apparently was very, very unfazed. In fact, he actually was described as bored. Kind of almost like he was in math class, just kind of waiting for things to be over. Now, first, the court needed to prove that David and Celeste had a relationship. And they did prove more than that. When David's phone was confiscated, they found a lot of photos and videos. Much of these were just
Yeah, like bro, like this man, you would think this man would like delete photos from like his iPhone gallery and like his out and his storage and also Google Photos or iCloud, but like nope. This man is like a big self snitcher, man. Like shout out Bruce Rivers because he proclaims to stop self snitching, man. Because
normal
you think someone like him would like not rec- record sex tapes with someone that age, but nope.
selfies of him and Celeste, kind of in the same way you would see normal couples taking selfies. On top of this, there were many photos and videos of them doing it together, which, as you may know, constitutes as CP. It kind of explains the whole headline of why David was found with so much of it on his phone. Now, I won't describe the specific acts, but I think that alone gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. Now, the thing is, though, one of these very disturbing CP videos was actually his lock screen on his phone. Like, David literally had CP on the lock screen of his phone, so if he were to check the time, that's the first thing you would see if you opened it. I mean, even without these very casual selfies, these very disturbing videos.
Yeah, like bro, like alright, so like, alright, man, like that's crazy. Like for one, even if she was of age, like who the fuck would put their partner lock screen as like who the fuck would put a partner in the lock screen naked or some shit like that? Because even when I was in a relationship, man, like I never put my girl naked and as my lock screen, bro. That's just crazy. What? Especially since like God forbid, like my parents, my grandparents, my friends, her friends would see my live screen and be like, "This nigga's weird, man. Why the fuck would you have that on his phone?"
and pictures were more than enough to basically prove that they were some sort of item, obviously. Like, there were pictures of her resting on his head, they were kissing in bed, you know, just lots of couple stuff. And at this time, she was at least between the ages of 11 and 14. Meanwhile,
And like,
he
you didn't think, like that's weird too. I'm not going to pretend like people don't have sex like when they're teenagers because like I lost my V card when I was a teenager, but like people don't have people don't really have sex like in the middle school, early high school age. Like people have sex like like late high school, college days type shit.
was over the age of 18. There were even messages of them planning what specific videos they were going to make when they weren't together. Now let's get into the text messages. There were a plethora of text messages that alone already paint enough of a story. Now these messages started on iCloud in 2022. A lot of these messages are of David promising how he's going to give Celeste the world and how they're going to get married and have a lot of children, because it was around this time that he was starting to really blow up as a musician. The biggest bombshell from all these messages was the fact that basically it revealed that Celeste had a baby and aborted it, although the message began just as speculation. Currently manifesting my period because I refuse to have kids, Rivas wrote. Burke allegedly replied, "Did you miss your date?" He urged her to begin tracking her menstrual cycle with an app. "I just need to make sure you're on top of your shit," he allegedly wrote. However, Celeste did get pregnant and got an abortion in January of 2024. This was a month before her first official missing reports. Rivas allegedly texted Burke, "Both of us aren't able to take care of it." Burke allegedly replied, "You're so much stronger than me, baby. LMAO. I love you." He then told Rivas his mother had advised him to question paternity if he ever found himself in this situation. He asked, "It's mine, right?" Rivas replied, "Of course it's yours, David." He then asked when the appointment was, told her it should take 45, and followed up after asking how it go, saying he felt like he was waiting for test results. But Celeste was skeptical about the first abortion. "I don't like this," she said, asking, "What if the first abortion didn't work?" Burke allegedly replied, "You should have a baby bump, Lamau. You have hella periods since then. What you smoking?" He added, "Nah, first baby gone." A few days later, on June 13th, he told Rivas he obtained a credit card for her to use. "I just want no posters and you to be able to get on planes. I'm able to pay." Now, just 1 month after Celeste got this alleged abortion, they implemented their next move called Operation Awesome. This was a very specific coordinated move for Celeste to move into David's home with him, and this was with the help of David's private security guard. Essentially, kidnapping. They planned this out to the point where they were specifically planning the things that Celeste was going to bring with her to his house. "I can't wait to move in together without the cops bitching, baby. You gon' be with me everywhere." Now, Burke allegedly
right
asked
there.
Rivas if she wanted him to hide out somewhere near
See, that's intense.
her house and have his bodyguard bring her to his car. "OMG, no, that's so embarrassing, dude." "Baby," he replied, "this is the most important day in
Like that alone shows premeditation.
your life next to
Like even if you didn't plan that out, like that alone will give circumstances of why he will kill Celeste.
wedding day, and you're worried about being embarrassed? Now, the specific plans was for her to basically get in his car and then they drive away immediately from her house to his home. And to do this, they were going to bring the car to a very specific stop sign. Now, apparently, this is already when Celeste's mom actually was locking her in her room and sleeping with her to prevent her from doing something like this, because apparently she was very suspectful of that. But that clearly did not stop her, because right after this, she was reported missing. Now, Celeste's parents would actually report her 3 times within the span of a few months that year. The first time was on February 15th, 2 days after Operation Awesome was implemented. And apparently the cops actually went to David's house when this all happened. There actually was body camera footage from February 14th of 2024 on Valentine's Day when one of the officers showed up to David's house about a missing person, Celeste. David said that he actually met up with Celeste, but only one time at the beach when they talked on Discord between 2020 and 2021. He then claims that he actually was lied to about being 18 when the officers presented yearbook photos to him of her being 13. Now, this is important because Celeste's parents did report her missing, so they clearly were trying at least at one point to prevent prevent this from happening. Celeste would return home 2 days later and they confiscated her phone. But David then paid one of her classmates $1,000 to sneak in a secret cell phone where they then continued to communicate. However, it was months later when Celeste would actually text David the regrets about the abortion. "Realistically, I care about you. I killed my kid for you." She added she would have been there for it, and they proceeded with the pregnancy. Burke responded that she would have been acting selfishly. "David, I'm going to have to lie to people."
I say that's manipulation, like, and that's the thing too, like, people, like, the younger you are, like, the more easy, like, I won't even just say manipulated, but like, you just want to understand things until like you get older, because like you don't understand the grand scheme of things, like how things play out in the real world, and it's like the consequences of your actions until like you get older. Like it also gets some like maturity and stuff like that. Like, of course, a kid will like react a certain way because this is their first time experiencing certain things, and like they they react based on emotion and not logic. Like we all know that because like we was in that position at one point. Like when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I had to my when I would act more out of my emotions and like how I feel in the moment rather than like logic going thinking of my future type of stuff. And that's why people like end up in fights, end up in bad situations, man. Like when I was a teenager, like I said, like you always like make decisions that like you regret in the future when you look back on it because that's how life is.
Around me, even my kid, for the rest of my life. I don't like talking about it because it gets me really upset, but I'd do anything to have it back. "Let's end that there," he texted. "I don't like talking to you when you're upset." When Rivas asked how she felt about the abortion, he replied, "I'm saddened by it. I'm even more saddened by the way it was conceived, outside of marriage and outside of the way I had pictured my first child going, but I don't dwell on it." That's
The fact that he's using that
conceived
Christian ideology, like outside marriage stuff, and like while he's having this conversation with a kid, is so ironic. So
outside of marriage and
what
outside of the
irony,
way I had
man.
pictured my first child going, but I don't dwell on it. That September, Rivas twice texted Burke that she was scared about an unwanted pregnancy. On November 7th of 2024, Rivas texted, "I literally had sex with you for almost a year straight." Burke allegedly replied, "Like I said last night, you're texting like this is the first breakup. This is the 8th time." Now this is when the timeline gets a little iffy around here.
What, 8 breakups? What? Okay, me, like I said, like I already know, like toxic relationships was always gonna be a thing, like, and we all know at least one couple in our lives, like where it was in school, or, like in our personal lives, that always like go back, that's like very on again, off again, but like 8 times, you might as well just call it off right there, man. Like what? Like like obviously arguments happen and stuff, like. I'm not saying like in my relationship, like my former relationship, like there was mad times when I almost would have ended things before we actually did, but like there was many times it almost came to that, but we made it work until we just decided it doesn't work anymore, but it's not like something to where like it's toxic, like like fuck you, I don't want to see you ever again, and we come back together, like nah, it was never like that.
But it does seem like Celeste was living with David. The parents would then continue to file 2 missing reports. The second time on March 13th, and then for the third and final time on April 5th, just 2 weeks later. That was 1 year before she died. Now, it was during this period that David and Celeste were going on a lot of trips together to London, Las Vegas, and Texas. But this is where the family started to get involved, and it raises a lot more questions. For one, Celeste's family signed a consent form for Celeste to travel to London with David by herself when she was 14, and this was confirmed in court with pictures of her ticket, because she was an unaccompanied minor who needed to get approval, which, by the way, again, also is evidence that David knew she was a minor, which is one of the things they're trying to argue against right now. This means that to some extent, at least, Celeste's parents clearly knew about the relationship and approved of it, because why on earth was this 14-year-old girl going alone with a 19-year-old to a completely different country? Now, apparently from the report, Celeste did threaten to do some bad things to herself, if you catch my drift. So maybe that had something to do with it, maybe not, I'm not sure. Not only did Celeste's family knew, but David's family also clearly knew to some extent, because specifically it was David's mom who was aware that they clearly seemed to be doing it. Your mom know we had sex yet? Burke replied, she thinks it's the first thing we're gonna do when we see each other. Reavers replied,
My side knew. Okay, I didn't know that part actually. I knew about the mom, but like, okay, I didn't read this part actually.
I can see you and sleep over, just do not get me pregnant. Burke then replied,
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't see this part.
you
I
did a
seen
good
like
job the past few
something
months,
else.
baby. The last and only time you were pregnant was because of a fucked up condom in December.
Bro, the fact that she's taking this, man. Just charge both families, man, and call it a day.
Yeah, so from these messages, it seems like as if David's mom
But charge him over child endangerment.
knew about the relationship and was just okay with it going. And on top of this, was okay with Celeste being pregnant, as long as the baby was his. And of course, that seems to be the only piece of advice that she was giving her son, not the fact that you should be dating people your own age and then not killing those people afterwards. But anyways, reportedly during these trips, Celeste was also introduced to David's entire family, which means that if that is true, they all could have known. And we're not using the stupid excuse of them thinking that she was 18, because she literally had to get special permission from her parents to travel. Now, during this time, Celeste and David were also apparently being driven around the various clubs and bars in LA's and then using fake IDs to get in. Who was driving them? The security guard. The same security guard who helped kidnap Celeste. And this went on for quite a couple of months until they broke up sometime in around November of 2024. And it is worth noting that at some point, Celeste also did return back home to live with her parents, as it was spotted by neighbors. Even separated, they still stayed in contact and continued to do it, if you know what I mean. And at some point, it seems like they completely reconciled. Although it seems like as if their approach wasn't mutual, as Celeste had some issues with it. We can be friends, but online. I don't want anything to do with you in person anymore. All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself. And all of this.
But I did this. I covered this comment before. I'm like, the fact that a kid has more common sense and has more realization, like, you know, more intelligence than like a grown man is crazy. Like, this is something you expect to hear from, like, you know, a woman that's in a relationship like my age that realized that she had enough and like she's better than this. But like, the fact that at 14 she knows her worth. Even though it sucks what happened to her, man, I'm proud she actually said she was starting to stand up for herself.
With you in person anymore. All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself. And all of this would lead up to Coachella of 2025, because that was the final domino that led to Celeste being murdered. You see, David was performing for his very first time at the Coachella festival, and I'm sure you guys know how big of a deal that is. In fact, even went viral from this performance because he tried doing a backflip and failed horribly. But this is where one of David's other friends comes in, Asia Collins, who is an aspiring Twitch streamer and content creator. She was friends with David for a while. Apparently she was in one of his music videos and was filming tons of content in his house and doing some vlogs for Coachella leading up to his performance. However, Celeste apparently was extremely jealous of this interaction that they had with each other, because she was being posted on his Instagram and coming off a lot more as friends. She got so furious that from one of the text messages, she threatened to kill him, chop off his banana, and also end his career. Oh my fucking god, I swear to God, I will kill you. She was in my damn seat.
And before I read this, but like, I gotta say, like, people are gonna say like, oh, what, she clearly wanted him, like, she clearly wanted him, what, like, why, like, you can't say she a victim. Of course you can say she a victim, because for one, of course she's gonna act like this because for one, she was emotionally attached to him, and two, like, when you're a kid, you're going to like I said, you're gonna react based on emotion. Like when you, like especially when it's like a first relationship, like you're going to be very, you're going to be very like you're going to be very protective of like your significant other. Like I like and doesn't matter change the fact that like I said, she was a minor. So like does so matter how much you spend it, it's still going to be bad. It's still going to be a bad situation going on.
Strangle you to fucking death, bro. I will tell my dad so many fucking lies about you, dead ass. I will end your career and end your life. I will damage anything. I will straight up mutilate your Maybe this was an exaggeration, maybe it wasn't. This was the conversation that made David decide that Celeste had to go. So, on the very next day of April 23rd, David ordered an Uber from Celeste's house to his. And the purpose of this interaction was because...
Bro, like, even, like I said, do people not understand what statutory rape is? Like, even if they consent, because of the age, they literally cannot consent. It's the same thing goes with like, like alcohol.
Celeste told David that he had one more chance to tell her the truth or else she was going to leak everything. At 10:01 p.m., Rivas texted, "Girly pop, I'm almost there. Open your door if you are home." Brooke responded, "Got you." And about 10 minutes later added, "Gate open, door unlocked." And it was just a couple minutes later, after she arrived at the house, that Celeste lost her life. Because that was when David allegedly killed her by stabbing her. But this is more complex than you think. David put in extra work to really try and cover his footsteps. Because 20 minutes later, after she arrived, David continued to text her phone like as if he did not know that she was there. Then minutes later, wrote he was going to call someone because you're scaring me. Bro. Then minutes later, wrote he was going to call someone because you're scaring me. Around midnight, he sent another message. "Where are you, please?" It was an hour later at 11:30 p.m. David drove to an isolated site off in Santa Barbara while texting her phone to dispose of evidence. David would return home and continue to text her phone, but would completely stop after April 26th. So this way it kind of made it seem like as if he was still looking for her. This way his alibi could be that he had no idea where she went and that he tried to find her. It was the very same day that the pre-sale tickets for his tour went up. Now, all of this was in the exact same week of David's new album coming out. Now, a lot of people might think that was a coincidence, but in my opinion, it's far from that. In fact, I think it's actually what motivated him the most to go through with it. Celeste was threatening to expose him during one of the most crucial times where good PR is a necessity. Album release weeks is the time where you're doing everything possible to get the word out. You're doing interviews, you're dropping music videos, you're dropping merch, the tour sales. So logically, it makes sense as to why he felt more inclined to go through with it. Why on earth would he do it at this week out of any other week? I don't know, it's just my opinion. The very next day after Celeste died, David sat down to do an interview with the Zach Sang show. I mean, this interview was absolutely wild. Like, he looked so casual and calm, like you never would have suspected he did something so terrible the day before.
You can hear a bunch of different influences there.
Yes, I'm glad you noticed that.
Oh, dude, you're hearing a little bit of the Smiths.
Mm-hmm.
Get some Jeff Buckley energy.
Yes, sir.
I also get a Chicken Little reference.
Yes.
The very next day, his new album, Withered, dropped. Commercially and critically, it's a success. But meanwhile, David still had unfinished business. The body of Celeste was still in his house. In fact, there's even a live stream clip where someone actually points out the terrible smell from the house.
Oh, wait, yeah, we can actually have mocktails for me. Can you put this in the bag too? Unless you don't mind. Can you put...
his nails green, right?
you, bro. I'm looking at your packaging, bro. Go f yourself. I don't even get paid, guys. I'm not even getting paid for this bullshit, bro. This, bro. All y'all, dead ass.
Oh. Now, do you make up? Yeah.
ABC. Oh, yeah,
I
exposure.
apologize in advance for the way my bathroom smelled. I took a
I don't care, I just took it.
And niggas too about the smell of a dead body is like, once you smell it, man, you don't even know where a dead body smells, but like once you know where it is, you're never gonna get past the smell because it smells bad. I never smelled a dead body before. Unfortunately, I hope so, but like I mean, fortunately, I hope so, but like, I think it probably will happen, fortunately. But but yeah, I just heard it smells so terrible. Like, it doesn't even smell like a skunk. It doesn't smell like trash. It just smells like, you know, like I said, like of course, like rotten fresh, rotten flesh.
Yo, I had to go.
In the following week, he orders shovel off of Postmates from Home Depot and orders 2 chainsaws, some trash bags, cleaning wipes, and an inflatable pool.
Yeah, I wonder what they think about now, especially this guy, because I don't think he expects something to happen, expected something like this to happen, but like, okay, he just thinks that comment is weird.
In the following week, he orders shovel off of Postmates from Home Depot and orders 2 chainsaws, some trash bags, cleaning wipes, and an inflatable pool off of Amazon under an alias. As they say in Breaking Bad, don't buy everything in one spot. The aliases he used to order the items were Travion Diaz and Victoria Mendez, and Travion Diaz is confirmed to be an alias that he has mentioned in text messages with Celeste. Apparently, it's just something he likes to call himself. So that one doesn't really need speculation here. It's just one of the many slip-ups. And it's believed that he put the body in the inflatable pool to not spill blood and then chopped her body up with a chainsaw. Yeah, this guy is a goddamn psychopath. Now, people would recover these items from the garage and they would do a DNA test to match the blood to Celeste. And on top of this, her pinky and left finger were amputated, which is important because that left finger was the one that had David's name tattooed on it. For months, the body just sat in the back of David's Tesla as he drove.
Like, bro, like, the only way I could see him getting off is if, like, this legal team was, like, bigger, has the powers of, like, OJ's dream team and Casey Anthony's, defense team combined, because only their powers can be able to get this man off the hook based on the circumstantial evidence that is, you know, right there in front of us. Because, like I said, like, due to the fact it's like no main eyewitnesses and, like, you know, a lot of, like, you know, I wouldn't say hearsay, but like a lot of, like, you know, like there's no they don't have anything to show like the killing itself, but I mean there's like a lot of CSAM, so like that alone on the very minimum will get him gone for that, but the murder is like the biggest thing they try and convict him for the prosecution, so because, like, you know, like that's guaranteed life in prison or like even a death penalty, but like I don't even think he's gonna get a death penalty because it's a California, man, and they haven't had a death penalty case since like 2006.
Around. In fact, he even put
like someone actually, you know, got killed off the death penalty on death row.
Dozens of air fresheners in the car to try and mask the smell. That was actually in January 2026 where authorities found Celeste's passport at the same place where David drove his Tesla in Santa Barbara. After Celeste died, David just continued with his career as if nothing happened, living his life all while he robbed the life of a child. But in a weird way, it's almost like as if David kind of wanted to get caught. Like he was leaving all these clues around. 7 days after Celeste died, he tweeted the word decay, which is quite literally when a body starts to decay. And there were 3 unreleased songs that were further found mentioning Celeste. The first one being a second version of the song Celeste that we already know of. A second one was called Losing Control, and the third one was quite literally called Trapped in a Tesla.
Is it actually called Trapped in Tesla, or like this person came up with that?
Wonder what you would think of me if you saw me this way, but trapped in a Tesla.
Oh yeah, I heard this one. Like, yeah, this man is like, yeah, he's just wanting to get caught. He just like, he's one of those social media people that like puts out old evidence Like, you know, like those drill rappers are like, you know, go on IG Live or post on their IG story about like what crimes they do, or just put their crimes in their songs and like thinking like, oh it's art. Like they're not going to get me on this. They will. I mean, like even like I mean, I'm sure. I mean, obviously they can't like. I know you can. Like I said, like it is art to extent, like you know, music and stuff like that. But like, and obviously you can use the real life experiences, like you know, make the art. But when it adds up to like a certain situation, it's not coincidence, man. It's like it's just like just giving out events because at least King Von, even though he's a alleged serial killer, he never put out his crimes in his songs. Like his songs are like are stories based on his life, but it never true stories.
You don't hate me cause I know I really messed up. Sweating off, stay until the sun is finally gone. Just more breath
I mean, the fact that he just left this girl in the Tesla around the corner so casually, I mean, it almost feels like subconsciously he wanted to get caught. Literally, one of the songs on the Withered album literally has a voicemail from her.
You probably don't want to talk to me right now, and I respect that. I really do, but I really need to hear your voice right now. Like, I just need to know that you're okay. I need to know that we're okay. I need to...
Yeah, it's a voice changer too. Like obviously that can't be Celeste's voice.
I sound so stupid right now, but like I've been so selfish and I can't stop thinking about you and what I did and how it's affecting like everything. I just want to say I'm sorry. I really am.
It's estimated that David made at least $2 million since the murder happened from his record deal and from brand deals. But ever since he got exposed, it's estimated that he lost out on at least $6 million. Mostly because his record label dropped him and he wasn't able to go through with the album deal. And it was in late July where David parked the Tesla around the corner, which eventually led to it being impounded, and well, here we are. And there's still so many loose ends on how this all went down. We know David is guilty, but who else is guilty here? Because assuming he obviously did everything that he's being accused of, it doesn't explain how he just casually got away with this and was able to implement it so easily. Others had to be involved. For one, where the hell was Celeste's family? Surely they noticed that she was not around for an entire 6 months, right? Why did they allow her to go on all these trips? Why were they allowing a 14-year-old to go with a 19-year-old? And there's conflicting information here because when all this went down, Celeste's mom said that she knew that her daughter was dating someone named David, but she had never met him. Meanwhile, the dad claimed initially that he had no knowledge of this relationship at all. So, which is it? And to what extent did David's parents know about all this? Because David's mom apparently seemed to know about them doing it together, about them dating, and about the baby. And what about David's security guard? Why was he reportedly helping kidnapping them and then driving them around to various clubs in LA? There's even a clip of one of David's collaborators joking about him dating a child. And there's suspicion of David's team looking the other way because around his entire career, David made about $11 million. So around 3 to 4 million of that went to his team. So clearly it's a conflict of interest for them to basically report him for any weird activity involving Celeste. Again, that's pure suspicion, so there's nothing really confirmed with that, but it is something to note. And so far, one of the only people who has really come forward to speak about this is Asia. Since the entire incident, Asia has tried to scrap any involvement that she has with David off the internet. Now, 1 month after the arrest, a Reddit post that claimed to be her made a statement clarifying that she no longer was friends with David and was remaining silent as part of the investigation. Recently, she went on a live stream further clarifying that she no longer was friends with David at all and wants justice for Celeste.
I've been trying to be super respectful to the investigation and to Celeste Rivas' death. All I can really say is like, no, we never dated. We used to be friends, but obviously when I found everything out, we stopped being friends. Like, do you think I still support this guy? No, I'm getting attacked as well for things. And all I'm trying to do is get justice for Celeste Rivas. Like, I feel like we're
she really got nothing to do with this, man. Besides the fact that, like, I mean, obviously, you could be friends. David is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like no one could tell or know that this person really know who he was, because like I'm sure like besides the parents and like the team, no one else really knew about this whole leadership going on. So you can't really like blame her for this, man. I feel bad for her, man.
Eyes on
Until it's proven otherwise, man, then I'm thinking she's like completely innocent in this.
the wrong thing, the unimportant things, especially.
However, there is a very, very suspicious clip going around right now where she talks about killing a minor if someone snitches on them.
This shit, bro. I'm just hoping, like, we're at an arcade. I hope I don't get a minor's number, bro. Like, not.
You gotta ask the age first.
Nah, you never ask the age. You always just gotta,
Gamble. We gotta
find
gamble.
out later, after you hook up with them.
After,
Yeah.
just gotta gamble your life.
No, it's not gambling nothing, you know? If they snitch, you know,
Oh, snitch. Why would they snitch?
Not a good look. And one thing we can't forget was the person driving David's Tesla from the security footage that we saw, which also heavily hints at an accomplice. Now, David's legal team is trying to argue that he killed Celeste out of self-defense, with the main evidence being the threat messages that she sent, which, let's be real, is complete BS. It is still legally alleged, but we all know the truth here. In my opinion, David took advantage of a child. Not a young girl, not a young woman, a child. He groomed her, got her pregnant, and then when it was about to threaten his career, he took her life. It's one of the most disturbing things.
And like the thing is too, like what's crazy is that like Hollywood, or what I call like Holly weird. It's like you could he could that could have gotten away in this in terms of like legal consequences, or like even like the backlash, like the internet backlash, or just the optics of like public perception, because like David's fans or like other people online were just thought she was making it up, or like or just like they just weren't believe her just because she think she'd be a cloud chaser. And like legally, like unless like Celeste actually brings her like very strong evidence, and like EDP who we just reacted to last week, a few days ago actually. Like the case there would have been like no case. So like I said, Celeste brings out like very strong evidence. So like David could actually got away with this, unfortunately. Especially in Hollywood, where like a lot of like things like this happen, like grooming and like other bad cases like this, like dating R. Kelly's like, we all know about dating R. Kelly and like Harvey Weinstein, but like even like people, and also Dan Schneider, but people like even like C-list actors and child actors for like decades in the past have been dealing with this for like years. So like it's unfortunately not surprising, but I don't think it's gonna really gonna change, even with like the Me Too movement and stuff like that. But hopefully I'm proven wrong. But yeah,
we have ever seen a celebrity do, ever. And the reason why the situation is so scary is not just because of the horrible.
Like I said, like he would dead got away with it if he just like just let it play out. But I'm glad he did it in the sense of like he's gonna get his justice. But like I said, in terms of like I wish he did. Celeste, this wasn't going to it's not never gonna live her life, but I hope at least he's finally like going to jail for this.
Things that were done to Celeste, which obviously is a big part of it, but because it went on for such a long time. David kidnapped this girl with like no repercussions. They dated, had an abortion, got matching tattoos, and got away with it. And for a whole 6 months, when she was dead, nothing happened. I mean, the only reason David even got caught was because she was found in the Tesla. Imagine if he was strategic enough to get rid of the entire body.
Yeah, like, bro, like, it's crazy because like if that would have been like I've been over. It's been over a year since he died. So like almost a year since it's been discovered. So like that would have been so like if like the parents didn't like have concern for her like while she was with him and like like during the 6 months, then like I don't think if she was so not so missing today, then like I don't think they would care either.
altogether. Would he have ever gone caught? Would we have just gone our entire lives not knowing about this horrible, disturbing thing that David did? Would he have just continued to make millions of dollars if it wasn't for that one small slip up? It's scary because, again, for months, the family didn't seem
But I
to.
say like, I'm glad he did it, but like, you would think someone that like watches score, he used to watch score as a kid, but like, you think someone that like watches score and like you'd think he would just like be more strategic, but like you just put in Tesla calling it a day. But I'm like I said, I'm glad in terms of like he's an idiot, so we able to get justice. But like I'm just obviously we all sad that like it comes with a life, but it's just so terrible, man. It's so terrible. Like I really have nothing else we have to say besides that because it's speechless.
This. So what was happening during that time? If this was happening for years from a big celebrity that we all knew, imagine what was going on that we don't know about. How many artists doing disturbing things going on behind the scenes do we not know about? We've seen the Diddy's, we've seen the Epsteins, and now we're starting to see the Davids. Celeste, unfortunately, cannot be brought back to life, but justice can be brought to her. And when this finally goes to trial, let's hope that she gets the justice that she deserves.
Yeah, man. Like, it is crazy, man. It's such a terrible situation, man. Yeah, I'm going to cover the situation as it goes on. Like, I don't know, going to do like I'm not going to do like day by day, but it's like if there's like a big update with I like up where like it has to like I really like could prove that David's guilty, then like I'll cover it. Like I'm not going. Like I could probably do like something for like the opening statements or like the first couple of days of like the trial. But I'm not if it's like a big trial where it's like months of build up, then like months of like deliberations, testimony and stuff like that, then like I don't think I'm gonna do it every single day, obviously. But like it's like also closing arguments and also the verdict, then like yeah, I'm of course gonna do a video on that. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about the situation though. It should be unanimous though, how you all feel about this. But that's really about it, man. I'm out. So see you boys.